Welcome to the latest episode of Five on the Floor on the Five Reasons Sports Network. Thanks for joining us on your favorite podcast app. On Apple, recommend Apple Podcasts, and on Android, we recommend Spotify. Also, check out Off the Floor. That's our Discord server, $2.99 per month. Link right here in the description. You can bypass the Apple upcharge. We tell you to go there because it's a place for the most heat, information, and conversation. If you were subscribed there, you would have known about this Kai Jones thing about a week ago, even longer. So that's why we tell you, go there. We're not putting it all on Twitter. We're moving Twitter here. So it's Off the Floor. Again, that's our Discord server. Also, check out Prize Picks. Been winning a lot on baseball lately, so make sure that you check that out. Prize Picks, use the code 5, F-I-V-E. Put down your $5. You get $50 to play right away. Prize Picks, the official fantasy sponsor of the Five Reasons Sports Network. Legal, again, in the state of Florida. And now, today's episode.
Mercy. Luxurious Heat Nation. Yeah. Mercy and Lago. Down to Biscayne. Yay. Five on the floor. Ride for my dogs. Where here's the thing. You can check the score. Hustle hard, couple scars, wearing bubble frogs. Down to Biscayne. Kept the floor playing, got it all band. Y'all seen the block, stop with one hand. And Pat we trust, it's power have the guts. We're here to bring the heat, y'all can hang it up.
Welcome to Five on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, Alex Toledo, Brady Hawk, and others from the Five Reasons Sports Network. Also, make sure to subscribe to Off the Floor for the most heat anywhere.
All right, welcome back to Five on the Floor. Here's today's floor plan. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick at Five Reasons Sports. And our man in the Bahamas, you always hear from him when the Heat are in training camp in the Bahamas, did this past year, Timothy Bain. And he was the guy who kind of let me know that the Kai Jones thing might happen. So we're going to get into that, and we'll get to the latest on it. Alex and I did an episode just kind of introducing everybody to him. Before we go forward, the circumstances here, the Miami Heat are over the luxury tax currently, but they don't have to get under it if they want to avoid the repeater tax until the end of the season. So they could add more salary and then shave salary as they go. Another thing just to get into, we cleaned this up. I know, Timmy, you cleaned this up, and I know Anthony Cheng cleaned it up afterwards, that Kai Jones cannot get a two-way. He would have to be a standard contract. The Heat do have a two-way available right now. We thought that was going to go to Drew Smith. But right now, that's not an option for Kai Jones because after he was drafted 19th overall, of course, didn't really work out with Charlotte. There was an incident in 2023. He asked for a trade. They let him go. He ended up with Philadelphia and their G League team, played for the Clippers and for Dallas. But he has enough service time now where he cannot be a two-way. So he would have to be a standard contract. The Heat could do that. They have a roster spot available if they wanted to. And, of course, they are short in terms of big men or front court players in general. Right now, if Kel'el Ware is going to start alongside Bam Adebayo, then Nikola Jokic is really the only guy they can sub in off the bench and have any confidence in. Vlad Golden is a two-way. Didn't really show a lot in Summer League. That would show that he's ready to play right away. But let's get to your background here a little bit and what's going on with Kai right now. This is Tuesday afternoon. Originally, I know you had thought he was going to go to Nicaragua to train with the Bahamian national team, which is playing in the America Cup, but he didn't, right? The Heat have kept him around. So what's the latest on that?
So just to give you some background, I was actually the first person to ever interview Kai in a basketball setting. 2017, the NBA came down here for the Basketball Without Borders, and he was one of two basketball players there for the Bahamas, the only guy. And since then, I've been following him. Went to his draft where everyone kind of knew he's going to Charlotte, but we kind of hoped he could go to the Spurs because of the better structure. It didn't work out. He asked for a trade in 2023, so he did some things online to make that happen a bit quicker, and they released him instead. And it's so funny, if he didn't sign that deal with the Sixers and the Clippers, he would still be two-way eligible. but he may also be out of the league because again that helped rehab his image. Not to say that anything was going on, just the fact that young kid making noise online. He did not. Who really wants to play for Charlotte Hornets? To be honest, who wants to play there? So Kai, the last time we had the sub qualifier in 2 springs ago, Kai was our featured player. We played against Puerto Rico, and that performance got him signed to the Clippers. So he kind of was about to do the same thing. But he is going to do the same thing in 2 weeks. He's going to be the only NBA player for our America roster, and the team left today for training camp in Nicaragua for a week. So I thought that was why he got that quick record in yesterday, but he has informed the team that he'll come on Friday. So he basically 3.5 days to show the word. So there was reports that he's going to sign to Italy, and I thought that was a done deal. But he wants to stay in the league. That's like the thing. You want to be in the NBA. You want to be being a pro is one thing, but playing in the NBA is something else. So I interviewed him a few weeks ago. He's dead set on playing on the NBA team. It's no secret that Miami is a 30-minute or less flight from Nassau, Bahamas, where we're from. So his family would get to see him basically every weekend if they so wish. So I'm sure he just wants to play in the team, but it's I always like to tell people Bahamians built Miami. Like if you look up the charter, like Bahamians signed to make Miami. It's literally Nassau #2. So it means the world for us to have a Bahamian playing 30 minutes away.
Okay, so more on this because as a basketball player, Alex got into this and he had some good moments in the 12 games he played in Dallas. Metrics were pretty good. The Mavericks were really beat up at that point. They needed to turn to somebody. He's an athletic player. He kind of understood his role there and he filled it. I don't think anybody's really questioning the athletic profile here, and that the Heat need that because they do. They need one more guy in there that they could trust for a few minutes at the very least. I mean, if something happens to Bam or Kalel, I don't know what they're doing in the front court because they just don't have a lot of options. Jokic is not at 5. Excuse me, Jokic is a 5. Jovic is not a 5, and he's probably going to be playing 4 with either of those two guys as he slides in. So the athletic thing is not the issue, but you've kind of downplayed the thing that happened in 2023. You've spent some time around him. Are you? Because I'm assuming the Heat investigate.
So just to give you some background, like I said, he was going on live and he was seen to be talking to his head, but he said something very pertinent in my interview with him 2 weeks ago before he even got that deal with the Sixers. Because other teams felt the same way, he had to go through a program with the union. He didn't just get signed. The union made him go through a program to make sure everything was right, and he finished that with flying colors, and then he was able to sign the Sixers. So there's no lingering, whatever thought was left from the 2023 incident. The league forced him to. They didn't just let him go to an NBA team. He was put through a program. So shout out to the union. He went to that program. I'd like to say that was February 2023, and that was what allowed him to go to the Sixers and the Clippers. So that's been dead and past and buried, And he reminds me a lot of Derek Jones Jr. In terms of he's just a raw athlete. Like I think he would be the best athlete on the team if he signed. Like I love Bam, but that boy, you could literally just throw it up to the rim and he would get it. He plays hard. And like I said, with Dallas, he was shooting basically 89% from the floor, like ridiculous. He was I think 52 of 65, something like that. Yeah. So and he's a short burst player. You're not looking for him to come and play 30 minutes. You got 15, 20 minutes. He'll run the floor. He'll play hard. But like you say, God forbid something happens to where you're starting Simone at center if he stays.
I don't know who they're starting. They don't really, and not only that, you've taken away, at least in training camp and maybe for the start of the season, one of Spo's small ball 4 options, which is Highsmith is not in there either. So they're really. It's funny because we talked about them sizing up, and they are with Bam and Ware as starters, but then they don't have a lot else. And I just don't. I mean, Golden and Kai Jones could not be more opposite as basketball players. Golden is, he's rugged. He's a more traditional big. He's got some touch inside, but don't put him in space. I watched some of that in summer league, and this is a guy who he's like you said, he's an athlete. I mean, they would use him on some. I mean, I wish their lobs would get better, but they would use him on some of that stuff that they would use Ware with. He could come in, he could play a few minutes. I see the attraction. They've also had more interest in these kind of, I don't want to say busted first round picks in recent years, right? They tried RJ Hampton, they tried Josh Christmas.
Yeah, and you have a team like Charlotte who could not have a center side, and he couldn't get to play. Now, mind you, now he went to the G League, and every G League stint he got, he was basically a star. He was averaging like
Right.
20 points. So we know the talent was there, but the issue is again 6'9", 6'10", not that large. So is he a four? And then
Right.
in G League he's shooting a lot. He's trying to show that he has range. So the issue has been being put in roles that he should not be in. So
Right.
again, we know that he turn dust into gold. We imagine with the system, with the structure. So again, like you said, he fits in the role of what they look for.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll talk about more about it on the other side because I want to get into what you think is actually going to happen here, and we'll make some predictions here. Before we do, we want to mention one of our great new sponsors. That's our friend Nanette. Nanette. The Aligned Training Method by Nanette is offering a free 30-minute virtual movement assessment. So if you've been feeling tight in your hips, stiff in your spine, or your body's out of alignment, check it out. It's completely free. A 30-minute virtual movement assessment. This isn't some generic workout plan. You get a personalized breakdown of your posture, hip function, and movement patterns so you can train smarter, avoid injury, and move better overall. It's great for anybody working through pain, coming back from injury, or just looking to reset their body mechanics. So head to, and here's the link, the Vault Training. That's the Vault Training.online to book your session. This is where smarter movement begins. Okay, so where's the movement here now? They've kept him for a couple days to sort of evaluate him and make a decision. And Heat fans who are like, oh, they're going to go deeper into this, they're not going to go deeper into the tax for an unproven player. Again, they can work their way out of it. They got a whole season to do that. They've done that before. I mean, if they made a trade at the deadline that moved off Rozier, they'd probably take back less money in the deal, and that would end up solving the problem. There's a lot of different ways for them to do this. As you said, he told you, and I know you did an interview with him about music and off the court and some of his other interests, but his basketball interest is to play here.
100%. He did not want a two-way, and he's happy he's going to be eligible for one. He doesn't necessarily want to go to Europe, but again, he wants to play ball.
Right.
He is dead set, singly focused on getting an NBA contract, but the issue is timing.
Right.
EuroLeague starts before the NBA. He has an offer in Italy. He's going to the America Cup on Friday. He would like to, when he finishes that tournament, and hopefully we could finish once, with a goal towards the Olympics. He wants to be able to go from America Cup knowing to where his next team is. He doesn't want to go and have to then sit down and wait for a call. That's why I feel like all these things came. I think the reason why the Italy deal came out was to spur some of these NBA teams into, hey, if you really want me, you need to get me now before I go to the next side of the world.
Right. So it's like, no, and I get it. And then the Heat jumped on it. They gave him the workout. And this is, as I said, they've looked more at these first-round pick types, Josh Christopher, R.J. Hampton, in recent years, in addition to obviously the guys who fall through the cracks of the draft. I mean, typically, when they keep a guy around this long and they're doing the research on him, it's with the intention to, if not keep him now, then maybe bring him back later. I think one thing they could be doing is gathering information here, and then maybe he goes overseas. Do you know the contract? I know it's Italy. Do you know if there's opt-outs in that?
No ideas yet. So, but
Okay.
My personal opinion, this is not his rules. I think at bare minimum, he gets at least a training camp invite. He wouldn't skip 3 days of our training camp for a very important, this is a very important tournament. Mm-hmm. I don't think he would blow them off for 3 days just to work out. I think at minimum, he gets just a training camp invite, just based on his conviction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of based on what I'm hearing too. So I think we're in alignment on that. By the way, if you're not familiar with how connected Timmy is here, first thing, check out his Instagram, because he put up all the YouTube videos with Kai. But also, as I've said, you're the only person in our network who says, I'll have to pod later because I'm spending some time with the Prime Minister. None of our other guys are doing it.
Typical Tuesday.
I mean, even as powerful as Brady is, he's not spending time with the governor of Florida. Well, anyway, I hope he doesn't. Timmy, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Again, we'll keep posting your stuff on Off the Floor. If you sub to Off the Floor, you knew we were hinting at this about 10 days ago. Just had to be a little bit careful here about the way we did it. But now that it's come out, he's your go-to guy on things Kai Jones. All right, again, check out the Vault Training.online, and also Prize Picks. Use the code FI VE. I'm using a new camera here, and it makes me look bright red. That's been totally distracting.
That's the summertime. That's the summertime. You stay inside.
I don't know what that is. I'm a tomato. All right, have a good day, everybody.